Welcome back to the show. What is happening at the Ottawa Board of Trade? Well, let me tell you, there's lots going on, but specifically talking about downtown and that downtown revitalization and why they are making it a priority and asking different levels of government to do the same. I am joined by the President and the CEO of the Ottawa Board of Trade, Sueling Ching. Sueling, welcome back. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Derek.
So you did. You put out that media release and you said, you know what, we're making it a priority and we'd like all levels of government, municipal, provincial, federal, to also look at this as a priority. Why did you feel you needed to, get that message out to those levels of government?
Yeah. So, I mean, we all saw what the pandemic did to our downtown core. So the huge footprint that the federal public government has in the downtown core, we've benefited from for years, but we were disproportionately impacted when everybody had to work from home.
Right.
So for the first couple of years, I think we were all just waiting for things to go back to normal, but about a year and a half ago, we started thinking we may have to really rethink how our downtown is going to be, and looking at it as an opportunity, because even pre-pandemic, it could have been more vibrant perhaps in the evenings or, on the weekend when the office workers weren't there. So we started having conversations with subject matter experts, with local stakeholders about what it is that we could do to move forward, and it's very multifaceted, right? There's this sort of is the opportunity to have more people living downtown, so there's more 24/7. The idea that it is a huge asset for our visitor economy, and then how are we going to replace the foot traffic left by these employees if they don't come back full time, which now we know they're not going to be.
Yeah, and Sueling, I guess one of the questions is, and people are asking themselves, hey, if I live in Barrhaven or Canada or Orleans, why should I consider downtown revitalization important?
Well, because the core of Ottawa, our nation's capital, is important to the whole city and to the entire region. It's a cultural, economic, employment hub. And if we lose the tax base from disinvestment, from a lack of the visitor economy, that will impact directly the pocketbooks of everybody in the region and in the city, 100%, and start to erode at our ability to deliver the services that all of us enjoy, 100%. The opposite is if we look at how we can all work together, yes, every level of government, but the business community and all of us as residents as well. Right. If we can look at how we can support the downtown, make it a vibrant, diverse, resilient hub, then we will reap the benefits of that as well.
The mayor has made some musings recently. He spoke to Ian Mendez at The Athletic, and he was talking about perhaps bringing something of an arena downtown, right? LeBreton Flats is still on the table, but he said he basically said to the community, listen, that's not off the table, but we have to look at all options. What was your impression of that? Well,
so all along we've been proponents of the arena being at LeBreton. We felt that it would be really good for the downtown and for the core. We understand, there's a changing landscape. We have a new council. So right now we're really just focused on being excited about the new ownership, the interest that we had garnered for the team. We know what a huge impact the team has on us as a city. So we're just focused on that, really promoting this idea of creating a strong fan base, and then looking forward to hearing what the new owners have to say about where they want to go.
Right. So. You mentioned stakeholders. So when you speak to those various stakeholders, and as you said, it's not just government stakeholders, it's the public, it's the residents, tourism and so forth. What are they saying that they feel is missing from the downtown core to bring back some of that vibrancy we're looking for?
So the first thing is diversity. Okay. We don't want to be, and I mean, I'm talking about Ottawa, but I also work with my colleagues in large cities all across the country, and we're not the only downtown feeling this, right?
Right.
Maybe more acutely, but because of the large government footprint. But, how do we make it more diverse so we're more resilient so this can't happen again, where we're just focused on one economy, the office economy? So how do we have more people living downtown? How do we animate the downtown, make sure that we have programming that attracts, visitors and residents alike? How do we incentivize entrepreneurs that have unique offerings to be downtown? These are all things that we can be looking at, but also how do we build infrastructure, right? That's going to provide a strong foundation for development and attract investment and make investment and entrepreneurs and, quite frankly, employees feel confident. I know safety has become a big conversation around the downtown, and as our friends at the Canadian Urban Institute say, say, you know, all of the things that came out in the pandemic manifested most acutely in our downtowns, and that has happened in Ottawa as well. So we need to be working with community leaders, social leaders who are helping us look at some of those issues as well, and the police.
Yeah, and Sueling, I've had, obviously, I've had many conversations. I think this is the fourth conversation you and I alone have had on the downtown. No, but it really is. But, one thing that comes up in many of the conversations I'm having with members of the public, I know David Smith at City News with the Talkback Hour, they're saying the thing about downtown and all of that area is, and there's nothing against it, there's great restaurants and there's great retail and there's museums, but it's eating, drinking, looking. There's no activities. What activities is what people are asking themselves? Like, I don't feel that many people feel like they can go downtown and spend the entire day, and that bleeds into a nightlife. Have they discussed that kind of thing of things to do?
Yeah, animation is a big part of it. Like I just said, the programming, the festivals and events. How can we do things in unusual places? So, for example, a few weeks ago, we partnered with some local stakeholders in Canderel to host the Ottawa's Open for Business event at, Constitution Square. So, perhaps, when would you have looked at a lobby of an office building as a great place to have a party? It was a fantastic party, right? Yeah. Looking for fun and unusual things that we can do to animate the main streets, 100%.
Are you encouraged that we can get to this quick enough? Because that's the other thing, right?
Well,
I mean, time's ticking.
And so you asked me at the very beginning, and I probably didn't answer the question, why now? Why come out publicly now? Is because we do see, nodes of work happening all over the city and sort of with our colleagues across the country. But what we wanted was for the community as a whole, and particularly for those thinking of moving here or investing here, to understand that there are things happening and that we do consider it to be an urgent matter, that we don't want to end up in the same position as some U.S. cities have done, that we want to be really proactive. So that's why we decided to come out publicly.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
I couldn't agree more. Always appreciate the time, Sueling. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Derek.